Mounce, BBG, chapter 23, sentence 3 starts off with kathos, which hopefully by now you've gotten used to saying just as every time you see this, because I think you'll find most of the time that's what makes it most fluid and really works. And that's kind of what we got here is just as, and then you have this personal pronoun, which hopefully you recognize by now. If you see that you're dealing with an accusative. So this is going to be a direct object probably. Then you look at this verb and hopefully you recognize a couple of things. If you looked at it and you said, "Oh, I'm not sure," I mean, think about what words you've learned. Hopefully you remember apostello. So in terms of a departure from apostello, you can see first of all that omicron went to an epsilon, which should tell you that that's probably the augment. Then you also see that this iota got in there somehow, and the second lambda went away. So, you clearly, hopefully, you recognize enough there to know that you've changed the stem and that stem is not a present stem. And especially, not only is it not a present stem, but that you have an augment. Okay, so you're dealing with a secondary tense. And then with that absence of the lambda, hopefully you can say, okay, I'm looking at this and I'm going to assume it's an aorist, and then I'm going to say, okay, what about my ending? As soon as you see that sigma ending, you ought to know that you're dealing with second singular, right? So, but it's from apostello, which is I send, but here you've got an aorist, and again, you've got a couple of things, not only here, but here, that tell you it's a different stem. So it's just as you sent me, is the way you want to play with that. Just as you sent me, and then you got the prepositional phrase here, into the world. And again, if I were to ask you why kosmon was in the accusative, the wrong answer would be because it's a direct object. The right answer would be because it's the object of the preposition ace, and ace can take the accusative. All right. So just as you sent me into the world, and I'm sure you recognize that from Cosmos. When you have kathos, just like or just as, then you're probably going to have some kind of this comparison idea, just like we did a couple of sentences ago, where you see the chi in there. It's chi ego. That's a contraction of chi ego. But the chi you're going to probably want to treat as also again, just like in the first sentence. So it's also I, and then you've got another verb here that's very similar. Again, you're going to look and you're going to see, whoops, try it again. You're going to see that augment. You're going to see the stem change. You're going to say, okay, I'm looking at an aorist again. And then with no, nothing there at the end, you go, okay. And also, I recognize from this contraction that verb better be first singular. And that is what we have. So also I sent, and again, because you're dealing with an aorist, I sent, and then your direct object here, them, right? And accusative plural, hopefully you recognize that. And then you've got the exact same prepositional phrase, so into the world, or into the world, that's probably what I'd go with. So just as you sent me into the world, I also sent them into the world, would be the way that it would sound best in English.